Hi, I'm Carrie Penny, and on this episode of Secret Heart Broadcasting, I'll be speaking with Heather Dyer. Heather is the co-host and co-creator of the Three Kitchens podcast. She's also a mom, a gardener, a former communications professional who has, at a certain point in her life, decided she's going to do what she wants to do, even if it means not doing it perfectly. So if you're a person like me who wrestles with the need to be perfect, I think this episode's for you. Mm-hmm.
When we were talking about having this discussion, I was remembering when my husband Todd and I were trying to conceive, wasn't working out. And we went to fertility specialist to be told that my eggs were poor quality and I shouldn't bother. It was this doctor with a really bad bedside manner. And I've since sort of randomly talked to two other women in my life who were like, oh yeah, I remember I had that same experience with that person. But anyway, that's
wow.
And she said, if you're going to spend money, don't spend it on fertility treatment, spend it on adoption. And so by this point we'd done IVF, we'd done all this stuff, and we were finally like, okay. So we went down the route of planning to adopt in Alberta. And part of that process is a social worker comes and you sit down and you talk about all these sorts of things. How did your parents parent you? What sort of mom did you have? All these kind of questions. And you have to really think about this kind of stuff. And you're asked, what will be your parenting style or your parenting philosophy when you have a child? And in the beginning, I remember Todd and I having a discussion. We're like, but we haven't met the kid yet. How do we know how we're going to parent this person when we don't know the person? Like, that seems kind of strange. But okay, let's think about this. And I think if you don't make a conscious effort to think about what kind of parent you want to be, it's very easy to do what your parents did with you. And that might be the best thing. And that might be the thing you should be doing, or it might not. What worked with you might not work with your child, right? So it was the process of deciding what of my upbringing do I want to carry forward, and what do I want to do that's my way of doing things. And then, of course, when you have that little person, you have to adapt to what is going to work for them. And don't be fooled when the first one, something works with the first one, guaranteed it's not going to work with the second one. Then you have to figure it all out. It's all fun, isn't it?
Yeah. And I have a control group of one. So I've, either enhanced her life or messed her up, and, she's all I know. And you do your best. I'm wondering, so you've got, two kids, you're creative. We've established that you're, kind of have this quiet fierceness I really admire about you. But how are you balancing all that? And I know this is a conversation that's been happening for years with women about how do you, and I'm not suggesting have it all, because I don't believe that's possible in any kind of way at once, but how do you show up in the world as fully who you are, recognizing that you have, you're a creative person, you're a mother, you're a wife, you're a, community member. Is there a formula? Or are you just winging it?
I think it's winging it, honestly. And I think I don't know if you heard this sort of trend in like social spheres of the I don't care club, women of a certain age hitting this point where I don't care. I don't care what you think of me. I'm just going to be who I authentically am. And because you do go through a long point, I think, in your life where you care a lot about what other people think. Am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Am I dressing the way I'm supposed to be dressing? Am I putting forward, am I appealing to this group? Or I don't know. You worry a lot about what other people think of you. And then it's a real thing. You hit a point in your life where you're like, why did I worry about that for so long? Why? Who cares? Like, I'm going to be who I am. And I know that is going to attract the people that are my people. And yeah, and I'm gonna put out probably my best work, and I'm going to enjoy what I'm doing, and I'm just gonna have a much happier, productive life because I am me in it, as opposed to trying to be someone else or trying to meet someone else's expectations or, you know.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think I spent a lot of my life being a pleaser. And I mean, I could maybe attribute that to my family of origin stuff. But I love what you said. Once you start like vibing on who you really are, the people who don't fit drop away. And sometimes there can be, feelings with that. And more people are attracted. It's just a more complimentary vibe. I'm sure it's I'm speaking in kind of woo-woo language now, but I think there probably is some electrical or electromagnetic signal or something that allows that to happen. We just don't know about it yet.
Anyway, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that
thank you
idea.
very much. Yeah,
because
it's true.
I still kind of think of it as a soul thing. Like, Carrie, maybe you and I knew each other in another space and time, or our souls somehow can cross paths or connected or something. That kind of stuff. Woo-woo for sure. It makes sense to me. And again, I don't care if it doesn't make sense to someone else, or if it does. Like, my husband's like, what are you even talking about? And I'm like, and yet somehow we're married. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah. Well, maybe you knew each other in another life.
It's possible, right?
I think it's interesting because we're neighbors and we met each other years ago in different lives. And then I had gotten newly married and bought a house on this street. And then I remember you pulling up and you're like, hey, it's me. And I'm like, Heather? She's like, yeah, I'm just 2 houses or 3 houses away. So what are the odds of that?
Yeah, we bought at the same time on the same street.
Yeah. What are the odds of that? Thanks for listening. If you like the show, please tell your friends.